Hello, I am Bernie Hayes. Today's guest is Alderwoman Pam Boyd. Today on The Bernie Hayes Show. And welcome back. Alderwoman Boyd, welcome. How you been?
I am doing fantastic, Bernie.
It's been about a year since you've been here.
It has.
Yeah.
I didn't think it had been that long, but it has. It's been a year, yeah.
Now, when you were here before, you were the alderperson for the 27th Ward.
Yes,
all
sir.
All this has changed, right?
It has drastically changed.
Tell us about what's happening.
Well, effective April the 4th, 2023, I became the alderperson of the 13th Ward.
Wow.
And so I have acquired the longest ward in the city of St. Louis. And it starts at 270 in North Riverfront, and it goes all the way to Page and Arlington. And I touch up against Jennings, Wellston, Pine Lime, Bell Ridge, and it's one more. It's another county.
Belnor, maybe?
Belnor, yeah. That's what Belnor. So that's the areas that I touch up against.
Gee,
yes,
that's
sir.
a long,
it is. It really is, Bernie.
Okay, but I mean, for the 27th Ward, you did so much, and you knew all the constituents. Now, have you met all the constituents? Have you toured the new areas that you have acquired?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because I'm a person, I like to tackle things one piece at a time. And so now what I'm doing is canvassing Hamilton Heights and Wells Goodfellow on Mondays. And so I'm meeting seniors, meeting residents that's out cutting their grass, out walking their dogs, talking to them. And so I like doing that. That makes me feel like a sense of purpose because without them, it won't be a 13th Ward.
Right.
So I've started doing that, and then I'll start looking at how to canvass in the Baton community to start talking to those people.
Okay. So it's a really large area that you have now. So, but you'll still be true to those original 27th Ward people.
I cannot forget my home base. I cannot forget them, and they do not forget me.
Yeah.
So 9 times out of 10, when they call me, it's something going on, and I'm working with them. So that will never change. They will always be my heart. And so I'm just trying to get them to understand we have to work together to build this community back up.
With your new duties, what do you need from the new constituents? How can they help you in any way?
Well, what we've been really pushing on is, one, we have committees that we want to form in each neighborhood.
Okay.
And so it would be like a housing committee, a voter empowerment committee, a sanitation and beautification committee. And so we just need residents to sit on those committees and lead those charges because I'm not the type of elected official that tells them how their community should be. They should be telling me how their community should be. And I work for them. They don't work for me.
Okay.
So I try to make them understand that I'm their employee.
How can they reach you and volunteer?
They can call 314-622-3287, and my secretary will be excited to work with them.
Okay, is there an email I can get you at?
At boyp@stlouis-mo.gov, and we'll respond to them also.
Alderwoman Pam Boyd, I see you in so many different places. I see you in different churches. I see you in different civic organizations. I see you at block parties. I see you at Harris Stowe State University. I see you at Webster.
Yeah.
How do you get around so?
With God.
Okay.
And he keeps me based. So he keeps me based on what I need to be doing. And so what I have started, I've always done it since I've been in office, in the community. When I get up, I pray, and then before I go in a meeting, I pray.
Tell us about your faith.
My faith is the mustard seed, because sometimes I just feel like I can't get through. And when I start doing the praying and start listening, because, you know, a lot of times we'll tell God this is what we want and stuff, but God, he gives you what you need.
Right.
And so I'm honored that he feels that I could do this. And so I know without him, I cannot make it.
Okay. Now, new construction and new businesses coming to your ward, how are you attracting them?
So,
and do you need any?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So I have acquired so much land, and that's what in the 27. Our challenge was always we didn't have a lot of lots. We didn't have a lot of vacant properties and lots. But in the new areas I have tons of it. And so every time I'm in an audience with somebody or I'm talking to somebody, I always make it understood we have space, we have room, this is what we want to do. I started working with Martin Luther King because that street is so dear to me. And my husband made that comment a long time ago. He said, we named this street after a man that died for us, and the streets just go down.
Relevant communities?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know, how do you look at it? He said, revitalize it, bring them back. So I'm meeting with all the business that's in my ward on Martin Luther King.
Good.
And now I have found out it is a plan for Martin Luther King, and we're going to start working that plan one piece at a time to rebuild that community. And that's where we want business.
This is great. Now, what else kind of other business are you trying to attract to your ward?
We're trying to attract...
It's a big ward. Now.
Yes, yes. And so what I tell people, what mostly the residents, and it's so interesting, Bernie, our residents, they don't ask for big things. They just want somewhere where they can go have a nice dinner with their family. Sure. Like have a jazz lounge where it's just live jazz. Local jazz can come in to perform. And the man can take his wife out, a girlfriend out for a nice evening. Have a decent grocery store in our community because we have a lot of seniors in our community. Right. And then we need to, they were asking about having like bookstores or clothing stores. And so we've been in conversation talking to different people. And like I said, every time I get in front of somebody, the first question I ask, so why haven't you looked to come in our area? And they say that what they look for is growth. So that's telling me we need housing in our community because we need to bring people back into our community.
How do you work with the other alderpersons now?
Great. I don't have a problem with anybody.
So since it's only, 14 wards now?
Yeah, it's 14.
So, okay. So is that a good thing in your opinion or what?
No. I think what I think, and I kept saying this before this even came to reality. Sure. North St. Louis was being hurt in the first place. They weren't getting the services they were supposed to get. Right. And I kept telling people, if you cut it down to 14, we're going to really struggle. And that's what we're doing. We're struggling for those services that we weren't getting in the first place. So we're struggling for ordinary city services, trash pickup, bulk pickup, street sweeping, derelict cars. We dealing with this, and it's double because now you have one person that has a legislative assistant and a secretary that's trying to accomplish these same services for people that they weren't getting in the first place.
It must be quite a task to do that, and especially since your ward is almost triple, and there's so many people now that you have to service, and I assume they're calling you for services already.
Yeah. And the challenge they've been having, because people say, well, contact CSB. And so my seniors are calling me. They won't answer. Wow. And so they'll call me. And so now at our satellite office, when they call them, then they'll do it online for the seniors. And they'll say, you know what, Ms. Boyd, this is your complaint number. We put it in. So they'll know it's a tracking method for it. Because, and even with 911, when you call 911, you're looking for somebody to pick up. Sure. But when people say, if it's English, press 1. If it's an emergency, press this. They don't want to hear that. They just want the service.
Those prompts to kill you with it.
Yeah.
My guest is Alderwoman Pam Boyd, and we're at the New Life Evangelistic Center, 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. And we have so much to talk about Ms. Boyd has been just a rock in the community for so many years, and we want to talk more about that. We'll be right back after this.
A lot of people are experiencing some difficult times walking through the journey of life, feeling that they're just totally overwhelmed. Maybe you're one of those individuals. I want to encourage you to get in God's Word, know that He loves you. He'll never forsake you. He's got a purpose for your life. If you haven't reached out and helped somebody lately, there's so many people that need help at this time. And those opportunities are available to you at New Life Evangelistic Center. We have search and rescue teams that are going out, finding people everywhere, and taking them to the direct help they need, helping them break the cycle of homelessness, going out to a wide variety of residential living programs we have. So many people hurting at this particular moment, and many that are in need. And you're going to feel good about helping somebody else that's in need. So if you want further information, call us at 314-421-3020. You can give online at nlecstl.org. You can volunteer, and most of all, you can really pray. We need prayer warriors at this time, facing some critical needs at this moment, and your prayers will definitely make a big difference for good. So please continue to keep us in your prayers here at the New Life Evangelistic Center.
How important are St. Louis Metro passes to the needy? To provide stability and permanent change to the homeless, they need jobs. But how do they get transportation to look for work when they have no money? And when they find a job, how will they get there? Become a part of NLEC's Metro Pass program and help bring enduring change to a life.
I have doctor's appointments that I have to attend, going to seek jobs and putting in applications. I really would like you to understand the importance and the need for this ministry, and anything that you can do to keep this ministry going. Please know that it is an extension of God's love.
When you partner with New Life Evangelistic Center, you impact so many people. The economy in this country is really hurting so many all over. And we're seeing the number of people who are experiencing homelessness rise. You can make a difference today by giving your gift online at newlifeevangelisticcenter.org. newlifeevangelisticcenter.org. Make a real big change in the lives of so many.
Welcome back. My guest is Alderwoman Pam Boyd. She's the 13th Ward alderperson, but has expanded. It used to be the 27th Ward. Now it's 3 times that large. And she's here with us. Ms. Boyd, what about the LRA? Do you work with that and all these new buildings? I see vacant buildings. Do you have quite a few in your ward now, especially
Yes.
our sisters expanded? Any plans for that?
And I'm glad you asked that.
Mm-hmm.
So when we had the 27th Ward, my first business was these committees to have residents make decisions about what happens in those communities. So we have a housing committee in our ward, and I'm proud to say those residents have been diligent in working with LRA, the vacancy collaboration, the proper NS people to ensure their voices are heard. And the mayor's office contacted me and said, we want to use your committee as a pilot for other neighborhoods.
Great.
So the person that chairs that committee, Mr. Lonzo Patrick, he attended a meeting and he kind of told them what we do. They have created policies for that housing committee. They have procedures. They have the voting process. So any LRA property that was in the 27th Ward, they had to go before these residents.
Okay.
And so that's what they're trying to do for the 13th Ward. They're trying to recruit people in each neighborhood to take that control over these properties and make sure that the right people are buying properties and that our people have an opportunity to get the properties. So LRA kind of threw a wrench in us because they redid the whole LRA process. So now that those group of residents are trying to learn and understand that process so they can educate other people but still do the work.
Land Reutilization Authority, that's LRA.
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. How do you work with Mayor Jones and other alderpersons? And then other people at City Hall? How do you, Pam Boyd, do it?
You know what, Bernie, I don't have a problem with working with anybody. I really don't. And it's funny because they call me the mother of the alder people. So I don't have a problem working with them. But one thing I tell people, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I'm okay about that. I don't have a problem with that. But let's communicate so we can come to an understanding of what we're trying to accomplish. I said, because at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about my residents and what their needs are and how we address them. And so I don't care who's on first or who on second. I just want it done. I want the city services, the quality of life issues addressed so we can make sure our residents live in a safe, quiet community.
Let's go back to LRA. Are there buildings that people can get, for, I understand, for $1 or something? Or if
they don't
funding?
do that. They don't do it. They
Okay.
did that, and when they did that, I kept explaining to people, because I had people calling me and said, I'm going to get 20 houses. I said, now, do you honestly think they're going to give you a property that's worth anything for $1? I said, you would literally probably have to tear it down and start all over again, because it's been stripped of everything. It's been sitting for so long. They just want it off of their roll. I said, so let's look. And so that's what they try to do, educate people on the properties.
Okay.
And the person that leads our housing committee, he was in construction, so he knows what to look for. So they kind of educate people. And once people would get the property, they created a packet to tell them where they could get financing, tell them how they can get support, where grants was at to help other residents.
Let's talk about Pam Boyd. Let's talk about the Alderwoman Pam Boyd. Who are you and what attracted you to public service?
You know what? Everybody asked me that. And what attracted me, I was a single mom, had wanted to buy a house, and I bought it on this block, and it was in the wintertime. And Mays Realty, I'll never forget them because they helped me so much. Mays Realty helped me with that house. And I said, oh, this is a nice community. It's quiet, it's pretty decent. And lo and behold, the summer came and everything went crazy. And so I started working with the Federation of Block Units with the Urban League. And I started talking to them, and they trained me how to be a block chair, how to do what needs to be done, Miss Rice. And when we did it, it took me 5 years, but I closed down 5 drug houses. I got a senior put in a senior home because she was being abused. And it just went from there. It was just helping people. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to show other people how to build their blocks up. So I give a lot of honor to the Federation of Block Units. When we had Mr. Parks, he was a part of it, so Matt Brown, those people taught me how to be a servant. And they always told me, always humble yourself. And so that's how I've always been.
Norman Say.
Yes, Norman Say, yeah.
And I know that Mike McMillan, you're one of his favorite people with the Urban League.
Yes,
and he can always call on Pam Boyd.
Yes, he
and he often does, does he not?
Yes, he does. And so we piggyback off of each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes him and I are texting at 5 o'clock in the morning. So, that's just how it is when you are humble and a servant.
Well, how is Mr. Boyd taking this? Does he ever see you?
No. He just told somebody last night, gave him my whole schedule. And they're looking at me, he knows your whole schedule. Yeah, I do. I say he does know it. So usually what I'll do is I make sure in the morning before I leave, we sit and have coffee and talk. And then when I come home, I wind down. Me and him sit on the deck and we talk. So I always try to make sure. And then on Sundays, we put aside that Sunday, we have family dinner, and that's when all the family, grandkids, and everything get together.
That's wonderful.
So we can keep the bond. Because you know what, Bernie? Without my family, I will be nothing.
Be no but Pam Boyd.
That's
right?
it. Just be Pam Boyd.
But I also noticed that you don't hesitate to talk to people who come up to you, people who, even with problems, you sit there and listen to them, and that always amazed me about you. You always took time to listen and to maybe take some action. Where did that come from?
I think it came from my upbringing, because I remember when we were young, I always remember that Mr. Softy would come around, and my mom would buy Mr. Softy for everybody on the block. my mom would be that person where people could talk to, and, you know, she would always try to help people. And so she instilled that in me, and I instilled that in my kids, and ironically, my grandkids, because they're on the same page. And so I always tell people we have to learn to listen to people, because you cannot continuously keep talking and ignore what their issues are. So what I hear a lot of people is they feel like they've lost hope because they feel nobody listens to them. Sure. And so I try to make sure that I listen. And if they think I'm not, then just say, you know what, Pam, listen what I'm saying. It's okay. I'm fine with it.
How can they reach you?
314-622-3287.
And do you have an email address?
boydis@stlouis-mo.gov.
So if I called you today, could I possibly talk to you today, or with the secretary?
You'll probably get my secretary.
Okay, and she'll put me in touch with you.
Right. And she usually very prompt, and because she goes through my calls every day, and she connects with me every day to tell me who to call or what she's done, and so that's what we do. And so we started something because the ward is so big. So if Bernie Hayes calls and he has an issue, my secretary and myself will work with you. Then we'll follow up with a letter and say, Mr. Hayes, you called on this day. We addressed this problem. We hope we corrected the issue. If we didn't, please let us know, and thank you for reaching out.
Wonderful. Pam Boyd is my guest. She's the Alderwoman for the 13th Ward, formerly the 27th Ward, but now that has expanded. And we'll be right back after this.
These are very difficult times, and so many people are giving up. I want you to experience hope in the midst of God's cathedral of creation. And that's why I have a free book that I want to send you. It said hope can begin to flow in your life. And you'll be encouraged to go out in the middle of creation and hear the birds and the trees and all of creation speak hope to you. And I'll send this to you absolutely free of charge. All you have to do is just write me Larry Rice at P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. That's 63166. Or you can call 314-421-302 and request your free copy of Experiencing Hope in God's Creation. We need hope right now. And hope is just right there, ready to fill you. You may be in a dark, dirty, lonely place at this moment. I have a whole chapter on that, how seeds are planted there and how they sprout. That and much more, right here. Just write me at P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. That's 63166, and receive your free copy.
Paul Lawrence Dunbar, writer, born in Dayton, Ohio, to former slaves. He was the only African American in the Central High School class of 1890. At Central High, Paul edited the school newspaper and was a member of the literary and debate societies. Future aviator Orville Wright was a member of Paul's high school class, but he did not graduate. And Paul hoped to attend college or secure a job in journalism upon graduating from high school, but he did not have enough money for additional education, and job projects for, prospects for young African American men were pretty slim in Dayton. Paul, who wrote novels, play, and song lyrics in addition to poetry, lived the last 3 years of his life with his mother. His poetry influenced Harlem Renaissance writers James Weldon Johnson, Langston Hughes, and Claude McKay during the 1920s, and continues to influence contemporary American literature today. He died on February the 9th, 1906. Paul Lawrence Dunbar.
As we feel the darkness pressing in upon us, both personal needs and needs in the world, society as a whole, it's easy for us to get depressed. And when we're depressed and negative and feeling hopeless, we're not going to be able to help anyone. That's why I daily have to draw strength from the Word of God. That's why I have to go on walks in the midst of the wonders of God's works. And that's why I have to be able to see something that's worked for many, many years in my life, is that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. That He's with us always, even to the end of the world. And that we can be a light, letting His love and power flow in us and through us in a cold, dark world. There are people hurting out there. There's people that are crying out to God at this particular moment in the midst of their desperation. Can we be led by the Holy Spirit to them? Can we believe God to reach out and let His love flow through us and by faith help them meet their needs? That's the challenges that the Lord gives us in His Word. Experience the joy of really helping somebody else and letting the light and love of Christ shine in you and through you.
Welcome back. My guest is Alderwoman Pam Boyd. She's the alderperson for the 13th Ward, but used to be the 27th Ward, but now she's 2 more wards have expanded. And so you're pretty busy, very busy, but I don't see how you take care of all the business that you do. And I say this because I called about a couple of things for you to do, and you did them. You did them right away. And so how do you manage your time like that?
Well, normally what I do, like I said, I talk to my husband first thing in the morning, but by the time he has gotten up at like 5, I've already looked at my calendar for the day, I've checked my messages, and so I just start prioritizing things, how I'm address things. So normally when it's residence issues, and it's pretty much now, I'm learning the new part of the ward, but the old 27, if it's certain people that call, I know what they're calling about.
Sure.
And so a lot of times, and I love my people, because I'll text them, I've already looked at that, I saw that, and I'm addressing it. And then they'll call me back. How did you know? Because I rode the ward. So a lot of times I'll ride the ward and listen to the message to kind of see what people are saying. And pretty much, especially my seniors, I kind of know what they're going to call me about or what their concerns are. And so they say, I'm just giving you information so you know what's going on. Okay. And so I love them for it, because they're my eye spies. They give me all my information.
Right. So what's your vision for your ward and for the St. Louis City?
For the St. Louis City is, and I'm praying, Bernie, I'm praying very hard, that we rebuild the North Quarter. Okay. It's so much potential over there. And I even talked to St. Louis Maid downtown, because, they're building up downtown. Sure. They're building up Central West End and South St. Louis. And I said, we need to make that a wraparound vision. I said, and so if you start focusing on the North Quarter, look how the people will start coming to our communities, coming to our city, because they'll see it's a wraparound of events and activities and businesses. So you don't just have to deal with downtown. You can go to the North Quarter. You can go there to a sandwich shop. You can go for a jazz concert, And so we have to send that. So they're willing to work with me. They said they want to work with me to rebuild.
How can they reach you again? And what services? You say you're trying to form committees. Where they call this your number to form these. What committees do you want formed?
Voter empowerment.
Okay.
Housing, sanitation, beautification, and safety.
Okay. And they can reach you what number?
314-622-3287.
Okay. What about is the Board of Aldermen in session now?
No, we're out.
When do you come back?
We go back the Friday after Labor Day.
Okay. So you got some monumental tasks between now and then, don't you?
I haven't stopped.
Yeah.
April 4th, 2023 is when it kicked off, and it's been nonstop.
But I noticed that I know the people in the 27th Ward are so anxious to work with you. They've been supporting you for so many years. So you're going to reach out to each now the new territory that you have, and you're doing that on a regular basis.
Right. I've been reaching out, and every audience that I have, tell them the same thing. I need you. I cannot do this by myself. I'm a realist, so I need them.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate you, how much I've always appreciated you, and how much I know I'm going to appreciate you in the future. So thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Pam Boyd.
All righty. Thank you, Bernie Hayes.
13th Ward Alderperson Pam Boyd. And we're here at the New Life Evangelistic Center, where Larry Rice has been supporting for more than 51 years. We want to say thank you and continue to support us. We're at 2428 Woodson Road at Overland, Missouri. I'm Bernie Hayes. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.